Welcome to F1 Blogs. We're your one-stop shop for all things Formula One. And today we're going to be doing a deep dive into a news story that has got the F1 world buzzing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Rwanda's bid to host a Grand Prix.
Wow.
Yep, you heard that right. Rwanda wants to bring Formula One back to Africa.
Okay.
For the first time since 1993.
That's a bold move, considering the last African Grand Prix was held in South Africa, and it was riddled with cancellations because of all the political climate surrounding apartheid.
Yeah.
Raises some big questions, doesn't it? Should F1 return to a continent with such a complex history, and to a country like Rwanda with its own set of challenges?
Right, and that's what we're going to be unpacking today. So the source for this deep dive is an article from Mundo Deportivo, which is a Spanish sports newspaper. And it was published just a few days ago on December 13th, 2024.
Okay.
This is very fresh news.
Very recent.
Yeah. And the article highlights Rwanda's official bid to host a Grand Prix. And this was announced by their president, Paul Kagame, himself.
Okay.
At the FIA's annual General Assembly in Kigali.
Holding the assembly in Kigali is already a pretty strategic move, wouldn't you say?
Right.
It's a way for them to showcase their infrastructure and their potential. To the FIA, almost like a trial run for a bigger event.
Yeah, like, hey, look what we can do.
Exactly.
We can handle this.
We got this.
And get this.
Yeah.
Even Formula One CEO Stefano Domenicali is impressed with Rwanda's proposal.
Interesting.
So it's not just talk, you know.
Right.
They're really trying to make this happen. And, you know, they've been strategically investing in sports. Like they partnered with big European football clubs like Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain.
Right, with that whole Visit Rwanda campaign.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very clear that they're trying to boost tourism and their international image.
Yeah.
And hosting an F1 Grand Prix would take that to a whole new level.
Oh, for sure.
Attract a global audience. And showcase Rwanda as a modern nation.
It would. But let's be real, can Rwanda's economy truly handle the massive investment required for an F1 race?
That's a good question. Well, the article does highlight Rwanda's economic growth since the 1994 genocide. Their Human Development Index has doubled.
Okay.
And they're projected to have a 7% economic growth in 2024.
Wow.
According to the International Monetary Fund. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, especially considering the tragic history.
Right, they're recovering from.
Yeah.
So it is impressive.
It is. But is 7% growth enough to justify the cost of building a world-class F1 track and hosting the event itself? And how does that economic growth actually trickle down to the average Rwandan?
Yeah.
We have to remember there are still concerns about poverty and inequality in the country.
Right, and you're hitting on something important, like economic growth doesn't always tell the whole story.
Exactly.
And the article does mention concerns raised by human rights organizations, particularly regarding the current government's handling of political dissent. We're talking about like reports of arbitrary detentions and disappearance of dissidents.
Right, those are some serious allegations.
Yeah, and they can't be ignored.
They can. So while the economic potential is definitely there, the human rights implications can't be ignored. Formula One needs to tread carefully here, especially considering their own commitment to ethical and responsible practices.
That's a tightrope walk.
Yeah.
The article mentions that Rwanda even sent representatives to the Monaco Grand Prix this year to meet with FIA officials.
Oh, wow.
So they're showing that they are serious about this bid.
That's a smart move, demonstrating their commitment and getting face time with key decision makers. But honestly, even if they manage to secure the Grand Prix, what kind of long-term impact would it actually have on Rwanda? Is this a sustainable strategy for their development? Or a risky gamble that could backfire?
Whoa, that's a big question, and it's one that we need to explore further. We're diving deep into the heart of this dilemma, weighing the potential benefits and the risks of a Rwandan Grand Prix. So stick with us as we unpack the complexities of this story. Okay, so we've established that Rwanda is going all in on this F1 bid, but let's talk about the nitty-gritty. Could they even pull off an event of this magnitude?
Right.
Logistically speaking,
Yeah.
what are we looking at?
Logistically, it's a massive undertaking.
Yeah.
Building a Formula One grade track is no joke.
Right.
It requires significant investment, specialized expertise, and adherence to strict safety standards.
Oh, yeah.
Set by the FIA.
Right, like these crazy high-speed corners and those unforgiving runoff areas.
Yeah.
It's not just building a racetrack, it's building a
whole arena.
high-performance arena.
Yeah.
But maybe they could adapt an existing circuit,
Okay.
like they did in Qatar for the
Yeah.
2021 Grand Prix.
Right.
They revamped the Losail International Circuit, and it worked out pretty well.
That's one option. But revamping a circuit to meet those F1 standards is still a major project.
True.
Another possibility is building a street circuit,
Okay.
like the iconic ones in Monaco or Singapore.
Oh, yeah.
That would have the added benefit of showcasing Kigali's cityscape to the world.
Right. I can just imagine those F1 cars like screaming through the streets
Yeah.
past like historical landmarks and modern architecture.
Right.
That would be incredible visually.
It would be stunning.
Yeah. But let's shift gears for a second.
Okay.
Let's say, hypothetically, Rwanda gets the green light
Mm-hmm.
and they host the Grand Prix. What kind of impact could it have on the sport itself?
It could be a game changer for Formula One.
Really?
Remember, they've been actively trying to expand their global reach,
Right.
especially in Asia and Africa. I mean, they've added races in Vietnam and Saudi Arabia recently. But bringing F1 back to Africa would be huge, symbolically.
It would tap into a whole new continent
Exactly.
with a rapidly growing middle class and a burgeoning passion for motorsports.
For sure.
Think about the potential for new fans, new sponsors, a whole new dimension to the sport's narrative.
Exactly. And it wouldn't just be about expanding the F1 market. It would be about sending a message.
Okay.
Rwanda, a nation that has faced immense challenges and emerged stronger.
Right.
Hosting one of the most prestigious sporting events in the world. That's a powerful story.
It is a story of resilience, progress, and a nation determined to make its mark
Yeah.
on the world stage. But here's the flip side of that coin.
Okay.
And it's a big one.
Yeah.
Wouldn't hosting such a glamorous event
Yeah.
in a country with a controversial human rights record raise eyebrows?
For sure.
Could it be seen as glossing over those issues?
Potentially, yeah.
Or even legitimizing a government accused of silencing dissent?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The potential for sports washing is a valid concern.
What is sports washing?
Sports washing is when governments use sporting events to deflect criticism and project this positive image without actually addressing the underlying issues. We've seen it happen before, so it's something to be wary of.
And Formula One has a responsibility to avoid being complicit in that.
Totally.
Right. If they do decide to partner with Rwanda,
Yeah.
they need to be incredibly transparent about their due diligence process and demonstrate a genuine commitment to human rights,
Yeah,
not just pay lip service to it.
absolutely. They need to hold the Rwandan government accountable. Ensure that the event doesn't contribute to any further human rights violations, and maybe even leverage their influence to push for positive change. It's a delicate balancing act.
It really is. This Rwandan Grand Prix bid is like a high-stakes chess game, with economic opportunities, political calculations, and ethical considerations all in play. It's a reminder that even something as seemingly simple as a sporting event can be intertwined with complex global issues.
And that complexity is what makes this story so fascinating to follow. It'll be interesting to see how the FIA and Formula One navigate these challenges and ultimately what decision they make. The stakes are high and the world will be watching.
Well, we've explored the potential economic impact, the logistical hurdles, and the ethical tightrope walk that comes with this bid. But there's one more crucial aspect to consider: the human element. What do the people of Rwanda think about all of this? So we've talked about the economic potential, the logistical hurdles, the ethical concerns surrounding Rwanda's F1 bid. But let's not forget about the people at the heart of this story, the Rwandans themselves.
You're absolutely right. It's easy to get caught up in the global politics and the business of F1. But we need to consider the local perspective. How do Rwandans feel about their country potentially hosting a Grand Prix?
It's a valid question. After all, this event would have a significant impact on their lives.
For sure.
For better or worse.
Yeah.
Imagine the buzz and excitement of having these high-tech racing machines zooming through your city.
It could be a source of national pride, showcasing Rwanda's progress and modernity on a global stage. Imagine young Rwandans inspired by the spectacle of F1.
Right.
Dreaming of becoming engineers, designers, or even drivers themselves.
That's a heartwarming thought. It could spark a whole new wave of interest in STEM fields and create opportunities in the motorsports industry.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's not be naive. hosting a Grand Prix also comes with potential downsides.
Okay.
There's the issue of displacement, for instance. What happens to the communities living near the proposed track location?
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
We've seen cases in other countries where people have been forced to relocate to make way for F1 circuits, sometimes with little compensation or regard for their livelihoods.
Exactly. And then there's the question of whether the economic benefits will actually trickle down to the average Rwandan.
Right.
Will this event create jobs and opportunities for local businesses? Or will the profits primarily benefit foreign corporations and a select elite?
That's a valid concern. It's important to ensure that the economic benefits are distributed fairly, and that hosting the Grand Prix doesn't exacerbate existing inequalities.
So as you can see, the potential impact on the Rwandan people is complex and multifaceted. There's a lot of excitement and potential for positive change, but also valid concerns about displacement, economic inequality, and the government's priorities.
It's a reminder that this isn't just a business deal or a sporting event.
Right.
It's about the lives of real people.
Yeah.
And ultimately, their voices and perspectives need to be heard.
Exactly. Before any final decisions are made, it's essential to engage with the Rwandan people, listen to their concerns, and ensure that this event truly serves their best interests.
Well, it's been quite a journey, unpacking all the layers of this story.
It has been.
We started with the news of Rwanda's F1 bid and delved into the economic potential, the logistical challenges, the ethical dilemmas, and the potential impact on the Rwandan people themselves.
Yeah, a lot to think about.
It is. It's a lot to digest.
But that's what a deep dive is all about. Exploring a topic from all angles, considering different perspectives, and ultimately leaving you with more questions than answers.
And speaking of questions,
yeah.
we leave you with this. Knowing what we've discussed today, do you believe Formula One should partner with Rwanda to host a Grand Prix? Is it a chance for positive change and a historic moment for the sport? Or a risky gamble fraught with ethical concerns? We'd love to hear your thoughts.
And if this deep dive has sparked your interest in the world of Formula One, we invite you to check out our channel, F1 Blogs, for all the latest news analysis and behind-the-scenes insights.
We've got race highlights, driver interviews, technical breakdowns, and a passionate community of F1 enthusiasts. Hit that subscribe button and join us as we explore the thrills and complexities of this incredible sport. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep those engines revving.